Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Got a lot of questions regarding the Range Rover, what it sold for, how I got on after, what did I buy next, and I know you've been waiting patiently for this video for a long while, since before Christmas. And so today I'd like to clear all that up for you, let you know what it sold for, who it sold to, obviously no names or anything, but who it sold to, and how that transaction went. What we plan to do next, what happened to the new car that we ordered, and what I may be or may not be getting next as another project for the time being. So today I think that's what I'm going to do with you today, and we'll let you know what happened. So as far as what the car sold for, let's cover that one first. What the car sold for, in all honesty, the car sold for £14,000. But on top of that, obviously I'd bought a lot of other bits and pieces for the car, and because I changed the interior and the wheels, of course I had those things to sell as well. So all in, I got about £15,500 back in entirety for the car, which obviously, as you can imagine, is nowhere near what it owed me, but at least it sort of paid back what I'd spent on the car and gave me some of the money back that we'd paid for it in the first place. The guy it sold to, I must just mention, Chris, if you're watching, I won't say his last name obviously or where he come from, but Chris was from the northwest, and he, bless him, came down on the train with I believe his nephew, and he was just such a warm and lovely, friendly guy. It was a pleasure to do the deal with him. He was absolutely delighted with the car. I picked him up from the station here at Chatham in Kent, where I live, brought him back to the house where we obviously did all the paperwork and the transaction, and he looked all over the car, gave him all the paperwork, and he was absolutely delighted. But having him here was an absolute pleasure. He was an absolute gentleman, a really warm, friendly guy, and I'm so happy that the car went to a really nice person who was enthusiastic about buying a Range Rover. And also, reassuringly, his partner told me over the phone that she loved the car once he'd got back home to where he came from. And so Chris, if you're watching, thanks for buying the car. I'm glad it went to a good home, and I'm just really happy that it was you that bought it. So that's what the car went for, guys. I eventually got about £15,500 back for the car. To answer all your questions, there was quite a few on there about what the car sold for, and so that answers that question. Other questions that were on the video included what we was going to get next, and some of you may have remembered that I'd mentioned about getting a Volvo, and we were going to get a new car. We'd had a good deal come up on a new car, but I don't know if any of you are aware or you've heard that there was this absolute global chip shortage, and of course that presented a problem in us getting our car, and it was looking like it was going to take between 8 and 10 months before we got a new vehicle if we'd ordered it that day. So we did actually put the deposit down on the car, and but later on, to the detriment of Volvo, I believe, I think we was treated appallingly, really. We put the deposit down on the car, and then they got back to us a little bit later on and told us that the spec that we had ordered would not be available in 2022. So that they had to cancel our order, and we would have to reorder the car again, which I thought was atrocious. So we got our deposit back, and we chose not to bother doing that. Some of you may also remember that I bought a little temporary E-Class Mercedes. I've done a small video on the channel that you can find on there. We just bought that as a temporary little run around, so that just so we had a car to ride around in, and that was fine. That was a great little car. Sold that one as well, and then we went on to look for something else for our holiday. And as I may have mentioned in the previous video, we needed a 4x4 because we travelled to Scotland, And although it's not particularly rough terrain where we drive in Scotland, doing the NT500, it's reassuring being up high and having that four-wheel drive footing underneath. So we've got another car, and that's going to be coming in a video next week. Hopefully I'll be able to give you a little introduction to that car next week. On that basis, I must just ask, guys, just a small favour. 98% of the traffic that comes through my site, believe it or not, just obviously they come, and I do it myself, I totally get it, but they kind of look at the videos and then move on without subscribing. I would really appreciate it if you'd consider, I mean, as you know, it's free to subscribe, just to click subscribe, and then you'll be, and if you click the notification bell, you'll be notified if I upload any other videos regarding this new car or any other vehicle that we may buy in the meantime. It all makes relatively interesting content for people that are interested in cars and knocking about with them. So I'd really appreciate if you could do that. But and that's that. Just wanted to get that out of the way. Some other people asked about the Pandora alarm that I'd had on the car. I must totally be honest, while I have no problem with the capabilities of the Pandora alarm on the vehicle, I mean, it's an incredibly technical bit of kit that they put on there, but I must say their customer service was absolutely atrocious. So I wouldn't recommend going for that. There are other options out there if you were looking for just a remote start for your vehicle. There are plenty of other options out there, and hopefully with better customer service. There was a subscription fee to pay for the Pandora alarm, and because of course it's got global tracking on there, so it's basically got a SIM card in there that you have to pay for monthly or yearly. In my case, I paid for it annually, and that subscription fee was about £100, something like that, per year. And of course we paid it when we first had the system installed, and then I had the car over a year, so of course I had to pay it again, and this happened just before I sold it. And I was hoping to be able to transfer that over to the new owner, which we did try to do. Chris, the new owner, gave me the money to pay for that year's subscription, and all would have been well there. But on contacting Pandora, they said that that wasn't possible, that I'd lost my money and that Chris would have to pay again himself. So of course I refunded him the money that he'd paid me, and he went ahead and made his own subscription, but not forgetting that Pandora had already took another £100 off of me. So not really a good show from Pandora there, and I had a lot of trouble with them, and I just don't recommend that system if you were looking for that. So I'm just mentioning that because there were a few people that asked on the comments about how I remote started the car, and I just thought I'd mention that. I'm not sponsored by Pandora, obviously, and I just wanted to give you my honest opinion about how that happened. And customer service is everything to us, so you know, I just thought I'd put that out there. We plan on going to Scotland for our holiday, as I may have mentioned, and we have bought another 4x4. And as I say, if you're interested in seeing that video or any future videos, I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe. I know I said that earlier, but it's important to get the numbers up a bit. As I said in my last video, guys, I'm aiming for 50,000 subscribers, and I'm only 49,790 subscribers away from that. I mean, so close, so close. So I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe. It would be fantastic. I do have some more footage that we had in the Range Rover, incidentally, from when we was away on holiday in Scotland last year, and I will be uploading that as well, because some of that might be interesting to you, for you Range Rover lovers. That may be interesting to you. I may knock up a small video that will include a little bit of footage, and especially a bit of 3D footage as well, from a 3D camera that we took with us when we went up there, and pretty amazing. So we will upload all of that and take it from there. This new car that we've bought presented us with a load of problems, as all of my cars do. I tend to be a bit of a sucker for these cars that need work doing, and so there will be probably some interesting videos on that as well coming in the future. I'd like to give a little shout out to Sam's Motor and Machine. Obviously, I think nearly everyone obviously that watches my channel or subscribes to my channel will have seen Sam's Motor and Machine. I mean, the guy's amazing. I love watching Sam's videos. He's just got such a smooth and reassuring voice. He's almost like the like David Attenborough for Range Rover lovers. And I really enjoy his videos, and if you haven't already, I really recommend you subscribe to Sam's channel. It's absolutely fantastic, and he covers a lot about the 4.4 litre, his own personal. If you've not already seen his videos, he covers a lot of interesting stuff on his own 2011, 2011 4.4 TDV8. The cheapest in the country at the time when he bought it, and his videos are really interesting and great. So I'd love it if you'd head over to his channel and give it a look if you've not already done that. That would be really good. There's not really much else to say on my one, guys. It was just a video to give you an update as to where we were. What the car sold for. As I say, a few of you had asked after we did the video what it sold for, and so basically this video is just to cover that, so that we can have a transition from this car onto another car, and hopefully the people that have decided to subscribe to my channel, which is not a lot of you, but I am very grateful that you have. I must just say that I'm very grateful for everyone that has subscribed to the channel. For all of you that have, I hope it wasn't just for Range Rover content. I mean, that being the case, we're going to come unstuck a little bit. Although I love Range Rovers and I do plan to own another one in the future, I don't have one at the moment. But as I say, we have something interesting coming up, and maybe you can follow me on that journey. Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm like. I like spending money on cars. Money I haven't got, but I like spending money on cars, and some of that content may be interesting for you. Well, it's been a pleasure bringing this video to you guys, and I hope you're all well. I hope you're all keeping safe, and I don't know, who knows. Let's have a look and see what we can do with this one. I don't know, maybe some new wheels, leather interior, maybe new tyres, new windscreen. Definitely, windscreens definitely needs doing. Anyway, we'll catch you on the other side, guys. See you soon.